All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Granted. We are back with another episode of Granted.
Hey guys, welcome back to Granted.
As you may be able to tell, this is a new setting. This is a new person.
Sir.
Okay, we've just entered a new time of our lives. So
Yeah.
welcome back to another episode of Granted. We have officially been in Tennessee for almost a month now.
Basically,
4 weeks. This is the take 2. Yeah, we're going.
Okay,
Are you
wow.
ready?
Yeah, I guess I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, everybody, listen. We're back with another episode of Granted.
Sir.
I thought there'd be no better person and time to bring on Rishab for another episode. When I first got here and we had just met each other, you were the first person I had on.
Yeah.
I believe that's right.
Yeah,
So, and that was crazy. Is that was 6 months ago almost.
I know, bro. Time has passed by.
I was counting the months back from that time, and it was almost half a year.
No facts, but it was an honor. It was a privilege and an honor to be on first here. Just a little quick backstory of how we met.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was geology, right?
Yeah,
geology class. We had assigned seats, but I didn't listen, of course. So I'm walking down, and I see a group of boys. I'm like, okay, it's time to get out of my comfort zone.
I love that.
Boom, see my boy Granted, or Grant.
I like Granted.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I dapped him up, and then boom, from there it's history.
And because I snapped after the dap. That's something a lot of people don't know.
Exactly.
If you're not snapping after the dap ups, you're not doing it right.
If you find someone that snaps after the dap,
that's a good friendship. Basically. It's just smooth, and it makes it better. But yeah, it's been 6 months since we recorded. I don't remember the episode number that it was.
Yeah.
People let us know in the comments, But he's back, and we've got a lot to cover, a lot from last semester, a lot from just like the break, But the only reason I'm wearing a raincoat right now is because it's a really gloomy day today on campus.
Yeah.
It rained all day, and it low-key was just kind of gloomy today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we still find a way to make the content for you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
keep
Rish,
it positive.
We had a long break.
Right.
And you were someone who traveled a lot over break. I knew that.
Yeah.
And I saw the updates through your stories and stuff. Just give us a rundown of the trips and why you were there, what you saw, what you experienced.
Yeah. So December 31st, before the new year, me and my family left to India. It's been 6 years since I've been there, and most of my family's over there. I'm actually, fun fact, the only one born in America out of my family.
Oh, wow.
So my sister was born in India, and at 3 months they moved to South America in the Chile area. And then boom, after that to Tennessee. And once again, the rest is history. But yeah, I went to go see family. Last time I saw them, I was 12.
Yeah.
So it was like a whole new person, right?
For sure.
So yeah, it was just to see family. Also, one big important thing was dental. In America, they were like, I love candy. It's bad. Like sugar is good in the moment, but then when it gets to it, it's, you know what I'm saying? And for those that know me, they know that blue raspberry, anything is my favorite. So
dangerous.
With that, exactly, it's dangerous. So with saying that, we went to the dentist here, and for everything with the root canals and all that, they were charging $10,000. So we realized that my mom's best friend in high school, or like close friend in high school, is a dentist in India, and they were already planning to go to India to see family. So, and I had a break, so they tagged me along. It was cool to see family. Bro, I was in that dentist office for like 7 to 10 days straight.
No way.
In and out, 3 hours at a time. Like, no joke, 7 to 8 times, bro. And like the third, I will never forget, there was a root canal right here. And boy, that was the most painful experience of my life. But we got all that done. Teeth is good, brand new. Not brand new, but you know what I'm saying. And then, yeah, after that, it was just seeing family, seeing them, see me grow. It was just a cool experience. Then through that, we went to Goa, which is also in India, which is a tourist spot with beaches and oceans and cool scenery, stuff to see there, like historic churches and all that. It was cool. So did that, then came back, had a couple weeks, and then I was supposed to leave, but my parents were selling a property there. So they extended it a week, which caused me to miss a week of school. But I know that they needed to, so sacrificed a little bit, but it was good.
Sir.
It was cool because we were stopping in Paris on the connection flight.
Yep.
So I got to stop in Paris, and once I got in Paris, trained to London, saw everything there is to see in London in one day or most of it, and then we went to Paris that night. Spent the day there, saw the Eiffel Tower, then back home. But yeah, it was a beautiful experience for sure.
What a trip, bro.
I know.
I'm very curious about India because I know very few people that have been.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Asia. You're not talking about Europe. Europe, they're all different. You know, every region has a different feeling to it.
Yeah.
How would you describe India's culture and the people there?
Culture is huge in India. Like when I tell you, not even from a religious aspect point, like for them, it's more of just culture and family. And it's a whole new demographic. You know, first of all, being there, 11.5 hour difference. So I'm experiencing the new year before everybody else.
Yeah.
So it's crazy experiences like that. Jet lag hitting me head on. You know, I'm still not fully healed from jet lag because I've been in India, Paris, a new time zone, 2 different time zones, and back to America for a different time zone. So it's like my head's been through a lot. But overall, the culture is crazy. You know, it's just something like that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
And it's grown since I've been there last. Just on top of like being able to be myself is not as easy over there. And you know, just having to navigate through that for as long as I was there, it was hard, but you know, we got through it, and yeah.
Do you mean when you say not easy to be yourself? Do you mean from a religious standpoint?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For me, being a Christian in that sort of environment, it's really, really rare to see. And especially 6 years ago, I wasn't Christian. So having this demographic change when it comes to religion, for me, it's a relationship. But it's just, obviously, my parents are so accepting now over the whole fact. But over there, they have no idea, you know? And I guess that's what my family thinks. But so I would have to hide my cross, put it in my shirt, so like no people would know and stuff like that. And you know, it got me thinking like, oh, I don't know, I don't like doing this. And you know, I started asking myself like deep questions, like, is this truly family? If that's the case. But you know, I love them to death. I love my mom, love my father, and everyone over there. They care for me. So I feel like if they were to know, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. And throughout the whole trip, some people found out through social media and other things. So, you know, that seed was planted either way. But yeah, that's basically not being.
What did they, when they found out, some of them, what was their reaction?
Well, some they would see. So like I had these bracelets on that have my like FCA and stuff like that, stuff like that. But I wouldn't have my cross on. So when they would see the bracelets, they would be like, "Show it, show it." So I'll show them, and I'll be like, how do I play this off?
Right.
Oh, my school gave it to me. Oh, this and the third. I'm like, life reality check. Like, bro, it's a bigger purpose than that, you know. And most of them were accepting. Most of them didn't really care. And my mom was honestly just afraid to answer questions. Yeah. Even though I could have done that for her. Yeah. But I love her to death, truly. And that's just part of the walk with God, to be honest. But I'm here. I'm striving, and we're great, bro.
Yes, sir. I remember when we talked the first time, we talked about people shutting you down because of your beliefs.
Facts.
You know, if they see you walking one way, they're not gonna accept you because of what you believe.
Yeah, especially people of my skin color, for sure.
Yeah, and then you go to a country where it's very different, and it's always been an issue in my mind, just because there's been, I mean, wars happen over religion, you know, at times, and it's a tough subject, but I mean, people have their own beliefs. We know that everyone thinks a little bit differently. When you start separating yourself, being, I am the only right party and I can't see anyone else's perspective, kind of how some people there are with Christianity. Yeah. That's when it becomes, I mean, that's just not easy. That's not easy to be around. Sure. And I'm kind of curious on your thoughts on that. Like, where you stand with conflict and religion.
Obviously, as a Christian, I believe that no matter what, like I'm gonna love you. Like I don't care what you believe in or what you've gone through. Like I genuinely love you. Like, and we may have never met before, but it's just that love I have in my heart. And as far as conflict with religion, stuff I find in most religion is that they believe that Jesus was a historical person, just as we believe George Washington was somebody. We believe Jesus Christ was somebody as well. And being in a Hindu family, growing up Hindu, and making this drastic change at the age of 14, it was a big decision. And obviously, was I making the right one? It's a lot of questions you got to ask yourself. But at the age of 18 now, I would love to say with my whole heart that that's the best decision I've ever made.
Yeah.
And then on the point of conflict, right? We believe John 14 says that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through Him. We believe that, and the fact that some religions believe, oh, I believe in Christianity, but my religion over, it's all these things. But if you believe in all religions, but this religion says that, or not even better, just has that point of I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. That's contradictory, And on point of war, I think it's never necessary like that. Obviously, even in the Bible, stuff happening today, it's a 2,000-year-old book, and it's predicting stuff that happens today. And I never want to push my religion on nobody. I just want to share the love of God. And it's a deep topic, and I appreciate you letting me speak up about that.
For sure.
But it's a deep topic, and just on the fact that a 2,000-year book is predicting the stuff that's happening today, Christians are being persecuted, and so is other religions too. But at some point, there will be I don't know. I just pray for it. I'm just a man in my little bubble that loves God and wants to spread that.
Yes, sir.
As far as everywhere else, as I've seen in India, it's way different. So all these people going on missionary trips and all these places to China, India, I feel for you because it's real deep over there. It's real deep, and it got me asking a lot of deep questions to myself on just how I'm supposed to walk in my faith. So just on that, as a Christian, obviously, I might disagree with your beliefs, but I still love you. And that's
important idea just for living in general, day-to-day life.
And I was hopeless at 14. I was at the lowest point of my life, and I was following my parents' religion because they believed in it, and that's all I knew. But that God-shaped hole in my heart, that in my personal belief everybody has, it wasn't filled until at the lowest point of my life. I was deep in like a lot of worldly ways, like I was a big hater, you know what I'm saying? I was judgmental, lustful, all the things that there is, God saved me from that. And on top of a logic standpoint, I have a personal standpoint too. So I know it's hard to prove my personal standpoint, but the logical standpoint is there. And one thing I want to end on in this conversation, of course, is the beautiful thing about it is that just on the proof of a creator, right? If we were a little bit closer to the sun, we would all burn. If we were a little farther, we would all freeze. If gravity was a little stronger, we would all be crushed. But if it was a little weaker, we would all float into non-existence. And we have so many cells and abilities, or that God put in us to do that has many things that they have to work, like our cells and stuff, if that makes sense. And in my opinion, all that can't just happen out of nothing. So it's a question that you really got to ask yourself. But yeah, on that standpoint, I thank you for letting me bring that up for y'all.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's hard to believe that all that complexity is there from nothing.
Right. Yeah.
And it's one of the hard things in life. One of the things that we're taught is, there are things that we just don't know.
Right.
And you can't prove. And that's why religion is partially controversial sometimes. Well, how do you know it's true? You've never seen it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, even if you don't believe in a higher being, like we said, I don't see you any different.
Right.
For me personally, I don't know if I've ever shared my values with you. I don't really. My family's technically Catholic, but I believe in that higher being, and it's just still for me to discover. I don't really know where I stand yet.
Yeah.
but I do appreciate you sharing your views on it, especially because that was a big change, me coming from Colorado to here. There's a much larger Christian base here. It's very prominent here. It's not as prominent in Colorado. Yeah. And it's an important thing. It's just part of our campus. There's tons of churches around campus, We've talked about me potentially going to Young Life a couple times, seeing what that's about. Yeah. But yeah, that's important for sure.
And it's just something that is really, it gets you out your comfort zone for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot, like you said, that is unknown. But for me, it gave me a hope and a sense of my future. You know what I'm saying? Eternity in paradise, that's something that I look forward to. And obviously my parents don't believe it yet. I'm praying for them, their salvation and all that. But I'm never going to hey, boom, turn or burn. No, bro.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's not love. Yeah. God is love. If you're, obviously, yes, I don't even like to say, there is some sort of truth to that. But there's a better way to go about it, in my opinion. And as far as social media and what God is calling me to, I feel like that's how I want to share it, with love. You know what I'm saying? Because if we're not doing it with love, what's the point, man?
Right. Who was and social media is something that we can both, we've always found that passion with each other. But with social media, who was the guy that came to our campus a while back? Very famous.
Yeah, Cliff and Stuart Connectley. Man, that was very, very powerful. I used to watch them heavy.
Yeah.
The likes of him, Bryce Crawford, all these people on social media that are just so influential. And the fact that they were there on our campus, I couldn't miss that. And I really appreciate you sharing your views too.
Yeah.
Because that's really powerful. And this is an important conversation.
For sure.
But something I'm working on is being more open about it. If people are really, really riding with you, they'll be able to listen. They won't judge you for it.
Yeah.
And for me, I won't judge him for it. So it's it's a mutual love. Obviously, I pray for you every day for sure, because we're
appreciate you. Yes, sir.
You were someone that got me out of my comfort zone here. And obviously I didn't know what you believed until now. And just out of the love of my heart, and because we're locked in, and I got love for you.
Appreciate that. Love you too,
praying
man.
for you. Yes, sir. But that's the whole point, man. It's love, man. The main point. If you look at any of Jesus's life, in the 4 Gospels, and you have someone that doesn't know anything about him, and then reads it and says, "What's his greatest attribute? Is love." Period. So, that's just a very powerful conversation, and I want more people to be open about it. Because there's a lot of people sharing their faith, or no, there's a lot of people that are ready to hear, but less people sharing their faith. So it's never something to push towards someone or beat them up or judge them for it. But it's just a loving conversation, because we love that person so much that we care about their eternity. We don't want to see them suffer.
Right.
And that's it. It's never oh, we're brainwashing or nothing like that. I've heard it all. But we just love, and how much would we have to hate someone to not share the love that we receive? So, powerful.
So it touches on a main point. So I'm in this econ class.
Okay.
That it's Econ 305. It's Markets, Ethics, and Capitalism. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
One of my favorite classes so far. I'm probably gonna put my professor onto the pod.
Oh, that's fine.
I'd love to get him on as a guest, but I'd love to put him on to this episode specifically. But honestly, we had a discussion last class, and he had us read an article. Article was called "Why is America So Mean?" And the article was about politics.
Okay.
And we had, the beautiful thing about the class is it is a discussion. It's basically a podcast with 70 people in a room,
right,
all sharing different things. So at the end of the day, we were talking about, why is America so mean? Why do people go on X and argue for hours at a time about religion and politics and all this stuff?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it came down to there are subgroups of people, and the subgroups are unwilling to have a tough conversation with another subgroup. And then it went into social media on how the social media creates the subgroup.
Yeah.
So maybe religiously, maybe you don't have any thoughts about it. Boom, they're pushing Christian content to you. And now you fall into that group of Christianity. Not a problem, right? That's a good thing because your faith is very powerful.
Yeah.
But then those subgroups kind of tend to create unwillingness to speak to other subgroups. And they touched on that more with political stuff.
Yeah.
But it was just interesting, man. It was really interesting because you're promoting love, but I know that other subgroups don't promote love. They just want to argue, and they don't want to have a conversation.
And you know what the powerful thing about it is, I've seen a bunch of people with a bunch of different religions, right? Obviously, I grew up in a Hindu household, so in most religions, from what I know, it's I gotta outweigh my good deeds to the bad deeds, and if my good deeds outweigh the bad deeds, then God will let me into heaven. And the thing is, that could be so draining, right? That could be so draining. And the fact with Christianity is, it's not by what we do, it's by what He did. And you know, that right there can save someone's life. Knowing that you cannot live up to that perfect standard that only God did, that gives you a better mindset on how to move. It gives you peace, knowing that, yeah, I may fall 7 times, but I'll get up 8, you know? And it's like, how do you ever know if your good deeds are outweighing your bad deeds? And obviously, there's a bunch of hypocrites in all religions, which put a bad view on all the religions. But at the same time, like, where's the fruit? You know, where's the fruit? Like, if you're saying you're a Christian and you truly love God, show me that. You know, show me that. Like, and don't spread false love and false you know what I'm saying. But it's like, there's a lot of hypocrites in a lot of religions, but I don't think the hypocrites should dictate your view on the religion. And that's what I'm trying to get at with this point. But you know, for me, obviously, I'm heavy biased. You know, so it's like, to have like a logic-based conversation about religion. Obviously, what I believe is, obviously, every religion has some sort of Godhead, and Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell said it like this: every religion has some sort of Godhead, but Jesus is the only one that's not still in the grave. And that's right there is super powerful. But it's not about like, it's not about not unity. It's about being unified with what you believe in, standing firm in your faith. And no matter what anybody tells you, keep walking and striving to be great. And if you believe in Jesus, you know, that's great. But truly, your life should show that, you know. And I don't mean to like push nothing on y'all, of course, but it's just something I'm really passionate about.
Yeah, I feel you. Well, the other thing, there's 2 things that the reason I brought up the article is because it made me think, like, there are 2 things that people are uncomfortable to talk about, and it's politics and religion.
Yeah.
And like the fact that we just had a conversation about religion openly means that we should be able to talk about politics the same way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, I don't know. I wanted to touch more on the social media stuff because we're so passionate about it.
No, facts.
What's new in the social media world for you? What are you seeing? That trends that you're seeing? You know, it could be what I said about people arguing. What are you seeing in the industry? What have you been doing recently, trying to get to the goals that you have? You know?
Yeah, for sure. I know we talked a little bit about it last podcast. But for me, recently realizing that I'm doing a whole lot of consuming, but not a whole lot of creating.
Yeah, that's everybody. That's everybody.
And I have so many dreams and passions, and it's a lot of like this, you know. But I haven't honestly made any good forward steps in order to do so. But I feel like God is leading me in the direction of social media, and it's time to move for me. I don't know. One night I was just praying, and God put a vision for a clothing brand, and that's what I was gonna. That was the little news that I have, and I'm gonna keep that on the wraps until like I fully like pursue it, because I don't want to just be mouth service, you know. So I'm gonna truly, you know, one of my mentors, he is a graphic designer. He has a clothing brand. Actually, I'm wearing one of his shirts right now. So
it's really cool, bro.
Shout out John.
It's cool.
But yeah, I already have in my notes like the designs that I'm looking for, what I wanted to say, and You know, I'm very excited. If you ask me about a clothing brand, I would tell you probably not. You know, because when it comes to being gifted like that, I'm not great with the drawing or graphic
hard to be
design.
artsy, bro.
But like, I mean, he did all the work. Like he
Right.
just
You
showed
just
me.
promote it.
I just promote it. You know what I'm
You
saying?
just wear it.
So yeah, you know, and once that starts, I'll keep you in check and in tune.
I love that.
And I'm very excited for that. But as far as social media, obviously, I want to do YouTube, streaming. I don't know what's going on with TikTok, so I don't know about that yet. But you know, TikTok, yeah, there's a lot of doom scrolling, mindless scrolling, but at the same time, there's a lot of information learned.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it was a powerful source to, you know, spread entertainment, love, comedy, these things, you know. And a lot of people's jobs were that, and just stripping that away is kind of hard. But obviously, it's back for a little bit, so we'll see where that goes. But you know, social media has always been my passion. My mom works in the fashion industry a little bit, so she does shows like New York Fashion Week, and that's how I get there. And she was talking to me about Paris Fashion Week, so I hope that works.
That would be insane.
I hope that works out for her. So, you know, I just have a lot of people that I look up to. My mom, my mentor. You know, I love what you're doing here. You know, that's why I'm always here to support no matter what.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, I just love people that really are
goal
driven. Yeah, goal driven, and it really inspires me. But so I'm trying to turn into one of those people too.
Yeah, I feel you. It's so hard, man. I could talk about it all day, but it's a consumer world. You know, we're always buying, we're always watching, and that's me included. There's a reason I got a gray filter on my phone, bro. Like I just I cannot do the doom scrolling. Like I know what it feels like. It doesn't feel good.
Mm-mm.
And you know, it's hard too because I want to talk about what it really means to be an influencer, like what it really looks like to be a creator. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not easy.
No.
And I remember at first when you watch your first few YouTube videos and they're just having fun with the content.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the video, they're like, our job's not easy.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know what goes in behind. I don't think I ever believed that.
Yeah, no.
I was always like, dude, you have the dream job.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You have exactly where I want to be. So I don't know why.
And at the end of the day, it's just not that easy. And the reason I say that is because I'm finding out right now.
Yeah.
And man, I'm curious on what your advice would be for someone like me, but there's spurts in the year where I'll go 3 or 4 weeks in a row doing an episode, and then there's spurts where I'll go 3-4 weeks without doing an episode. This is the first episode in a month that I've recorded.
Yeah.
And that last episode I did actually did really well in terms of viewership. Mm-hmm. But you know, making excuses, that's something that I always do. Yeah. And it's not like I'm sitting there on TikTok scrolling instead of recording. It's just it's hard to be consistent, and that's what it takes to succeed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like every influencer that you know is posting weekly or daily or every few days. That's why they're successful, because they put stuff out consistently. It's just like how do you get around that? Not around that, but how do you envision yourself doing that, even with the clothing brand?
Yeah.
How would you recommend I fix it?
Yeah, I saw somewhere that obviously we're here when we get the motivation.
Yeah.
And then when that motivation leaves, most people stop here. But if you push through that lack of motivation, that's where a lot of people find their success.
That's where you stand out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, you could have goals, New Year's goals that you set. Mm-hmm. And around this time, especially 1 or 2 months, is where it fades. So it's like, for me too, I need to listen to this advice. It's like you said, being consistent, and leaning onto people to keep you accountable.
Yeah.
If you have people keeping you accountable, like, yo, Grant, did you post that podcast this week? You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. And you know, just loving what you do. If you don't love what you do with this content, you're not in the right space.
So true.
And for people that do this for money, I mean, yes, it's a great space for money. But if you don't love what you do, you're not going to put effort into it. You're not going to upgrade your production and just grow in the right direction. And then you're going to hit this space. And then you're going to stop here and you're going to be like, okay, now what's next? You know?
Yeah.
But I encourage me, you, and whoever's watching to get back up here.
Get off your ass. All right.
No, like once you hit that lack of motivation, that's when you know you're doing something right. obviously, you're motivated here. Oh, the dopamine boost. Oh, I want to start this, and this, and I want to record YouTube, and I got a camera, and
easy to do for sure.
Bro, when I tell you I got a camera, think not last Christmas, but the Christmas before, so like almost a year and some change, and I haven't uploaded not one video yet. That's what I'm telling you. It's just like I have content on there. I have a couple vlogs, but I'm like I have the mind of I wouldn't even say a perfectionist, but it's like I'm scared
definitely
to put my content out there, and that's where I need to change. Just being confident in my own self, loving my own self, and being able to put that content out there to entertain and inspire other people. Sure. You never know whose life it could change. You never know whose day you're making. Because I know when I was young, coming home from school, turn on the iPad, 3 p.m., I know like some of my favorite YouTubers would post, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm so excited for this. And I would be just all giddy and stuff.
Definitely.
You know, and the fact that you can have that impact on someone, that laziness, it's a good switch in mindset. But, I got to deal with it myself. There's a lot of dreams and aspirations I have. I have it in my notes. I have it up here, but it's just that extra step.
Yeah.
The door's open. Yeah. Are you going to take your step?
You got to take the first real step. Because the people make the goals. I make the goals.
Right.
And then the goals, sometimes they don't get done. Mm-hmm. That actually is a good point, though. What did you put on your New Year's list? Did you make goals this year?
Yeah. My goals
were the few like big ones?
My goals were to obviously better my health. In fact, of like just eating better in a way. I'm a vegetarian still because it makes my mom happy, and eventually that will change. So it's hard to get good nutrients, good proteins.
Definitely.
And like from a young kid, I was just loving. I'm a snacker. I love snacks.
I do too.
I was known as the kid at school that had all the exotic snacks.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you hungry? You gonna go to Rish? So it's like stuff like that. It's just bettering my body, getting my relationship with God right. Being more loving, more caring. And honestly, one of my main goals was to move, to get with this social media, get with this content creation, and to actually walk through that door that God's opened for me. So it's like, that's the step. And there's a month that's passed by and I haven't done nothing, but you still got 11 months. So
yes, sir.
It's time to get at it. And obviously, this is inspiring right here, getting on the podcast.
So this is a step in the right direction.
This is a step in the right direction.
Letting the people know what the idea is.
Being a marketing major now, I've declared for marketing and a minor in entrepreneurship. I've seen how much your brand means. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for example, if I see podcast clips that really intrigue me, it'll have like a topic question, and then boom, the clip of me and you talking or someone talking, and then it'll have the letters, and it's like captions kind of.
Yeah, the closed captions.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like, obviously, like I said, love what you do, but like upgrading your production, taking time with your work, and understanding what social media, the algorithm, not to please people, but in order to further your brand in the way that you want it. There's a lot that comes with it, a lot that people don't really necessarily think about when in terms of comments. Maybe you get a comment you don't like, and then it just changes your whole mindset. But you gotta, before you get out there, you gotta love your content. You gotta love what you do, because if you love what you do and you love what you put out, no matter what people say, unless it's controversial, no matter what people say, it doesn't matter. As long as you love what you're doing, that's what matters to me.
For sure.
And truly, I would say from high school, just talking from high school to college, in high school, not to toot my own horn or anything, it was the dream high school life you could live. Sports teams, I had a girlfriend, popular kid. They do like a Mr. and Miss of the school.
Yeah.
I got the Mr.
Yes, sir.
And it was just the dream life you could live. And I had great friends and was out every day hanging out with them. And then once I got to college, that all changed. It has nothing to do with my friends. Obviously, they're busy. They got school. And the people that are still in high school, they're busy with academic, sports, etc. So it seems like usually when I beat myself up for being alone, it's not that I'm truly alone. It's that we've just moved on in life.
Yeah.
And it's like I shouldn't expect to have that same, experience that I had there. But with that being said, one thing that is inspiring that I see you do is you're very, very open in talking to people. Like I see you with a new person every day. Just because like you understand and you want to hear them. Like a lot of people love to talk about themselves and maybe they don't get to speak to people usually, you know, or get outside that comfort zone. And you're willing to listen and make friends, and you don't judge nobody. And I think that's beautiful, and that's why you fit in so well here, and that's inspirational for sure.
Bro, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
it's one of the best compliments I can receive because I really do see the value in that and meeting new people every day if I can. But part of that, and I'll tell you right now, part of that motivation is to be the guy that you were in high school. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't agree with what you said. You said that you couldn't be that guy here.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're just not that guy yet.
Yeah.
Right? No one is that guy yet. I mean, the only guys that are like that are the athletes.
Yeah, facts.
And they got it going.
They got aura.
For sure.
I swear.
For sure.
They got the little backpack and they don't talk to nobody.
Nope. No, they don't talk. They get talked to.
Yeah, facts. You know they're athletes.
But with that said, like, talking to other people that you don't know, that is how you build what you were in high school. You know, like if you just talk to more people and you're respectful to them, you show that same love that you talked about earlier, then they'll love you for who you are, and then you will be the guy that people talk about.
Exactly.
And
that's powerful.
And the other thing is you can do it one of two ways. I see it two ways. I could either talk to 1,000 people individually, and then they would probably all watch the podcast at some point, which is like not necessarily my intention to just use them for views.
Right.
But you get your friends to watch.
Exactly.
So that's one way you could become popular. Or you do it the classic social media way. A lot of influencers don't have that many friends. They have tight circles. We record this podcast. I just go in my room and post it. And if it goes well enough, then 30,000 people now watch it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there are multiple ways to become that guy again.
No, facts.
And in my mind, you're already that guy. You know, you have great energy. And you're spreading love every time that I see you.
Yeah. No,
so there's no reason for you to. I don't think you're putting yourself down, but like I understand what you're saying, but there's no reason to feel alone.
Right.
And it's easy to feel alone. We talked about that.
No, facts. And sometimes I know that that's the truth, but sometimes like those thoughts in my head, you know, the enemy playing games on me, like, oh, you're alone, oh, you're not good enough. These and like you just gotta stand firm and know that know your worth. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And I feel like that's really powerful, and I've seen it, and I've been inspired by it. But for someone out there that may be in the same situation, or maybe haven't got outside their comfort zone, what advice would you give them in order to talk to people?
To get out of their comfort zone?
Start conversations and stuff.
One of the main, this was the point I wanted to make for probably at least 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Is just not caring. It's just not caring. You talked about you've had the camera for a year and some change. You haven't posted the video because you're scared of what other people are going to interpret the video as.
Yeah, in a
right?
way.
That's how, I mean, that feeling is universally felt.
Yeah.
If I go to talk to a girl that I've never talked to,
I've seen it.
To this day, hard to do, bro. I mean, I get so nervous because why? I care what they think. I care that they're going to think I'm weird. I care that they might think that I'm a loser. I care that they're not going to like me.
No facts.
And that prevents me from talking to them. If you go up to someone with the intention that you can't care. You just can't care what they think.
Right.
You just do you, basically.
Facts.
And when you go up and you slide someone a compliment, maybe they got a nice little cross chain going on, like how you do. You say, bro, I love that. I love your chain. I love your jewelry. I love your shirt.
Right.
That's just, first of all, you're already spreading love.
Yeah.
And people appreciate that. That's an easy way to make friends.
No cap.
And what did you do? I mean, that's an easy way without caring to like start a conversation with someone.
Facts. And what did you lose out of that? Nothing.
You didn't lose anything. And if we're being honest, you didn't give any perception of them, but like that was awesome. Like he went out of his way to compliment me.
Yeah. And they're going to think about that.
Days and weeks. Like I like a compliment too. You know, everyone likes a compliment.
And I feel like that's what we're lacking these days.
Yeah.
You know, compliments, being nice to each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody, what I've experienced here is in their own zone, you know, and that's why it's been I wouldn't even say a struggle for me to get out there, but, and especially in my beliefs, I don't really go party and like do anything like that.
Yeah, I don't either.
So, see, and that's why it's so powerful, because you don't do all those things really, but you're just so kind and loving to everybody. Yeah. And I'm not gonna mention no names or faces, but I know we were walking from class, and there's 2 girls that we thought we were attractive, right? That's right. And she was walking alone, and I said, "Grant, it's time."
It was my time.
So it's either the steps I go and he goes that way, or you know, I was like, story. "Grant, what you want? I can take the steps." And he said, "It's time." And boom, I hit the and then I look, oh my goodness, that boy was on timing. And I went up the stairs, and I'm walking to because we live in the same dorm, and they still talking. I was like, bro, this is inspirational. So, you know, just on that fact, I think it's a beautiful thing.
That's hilarious, bro. I remember that story. Yeah.
Boy, I never hit the meanest, bro. You might think I play football. The way I hit that, bro, I swear, like I've never, bro. And I was the whole time.
Hey, there's man, that's a good feeling for sure.
Thanks. You know?
That's a good feeling. So for context, Rish and I were in the same geology class. We'll spread a little bit of humor here.
Yeah, let's get it.
So we were in the same geology class, and for me, I have wandering eyes, meaning like I'm kind of always looking around I'm a people watcher.
Head is on a swivel.
Yeah, and I also understand that we're at Tennessee, so I was just looking around, seeing who's in our class. There were these 2 very beautiful girls that sat not really that close to us. They were a row back and to the right of us. And I just told Rish at the beginning of the year, I was like, by sometime this semester, I have to talk to her. Like, there was a girl that I really liked.
And then I knew exactly which one he was talking about.
Yep. We looked at each other and just we didn't have to say anything. But it took a while.
Imagine she's watching this.
Oh, wow. I mean, it took a while.
It did.
It took a while. But eventually, yeah, we were walking behind them back to our dorm, and the girl that I wanted to talk to was just walking. It's either the steps go straight up and the path goes this way. So when Rish was talking about the steps or the path, well, you couldn't have taken the path. She took the path.
Exactly.
So I had to.
So I was like,
well, it was either you go with me
or I go alone. So I was like, Grant,
this
is the time we've been waiting for. So what, you make the move and I'll move.
Yeah, and I risked it for the biscuit, and that's what you got to do. And yeah, I was really fucking nervous, dude. Yeah. And it was clear, like she could probably tell I was nervous for sure.
Facts, I bet.
But
you took that.
You break the ice.
You took that step.
And
if you use that same motivation and that same attitude with the content and with your goals, imagine how much you could do.
Right. And it doesn't even just have to be with girls. That's everybody. You know, you just, at the end of the day, I almost didn't do it because I thought that she would perceive me a certain way. And that nearly prevented me from taking the step.
Right.
And that can't prevent you from taking your step.
No cow.
That's what you have to understand, that you have value. You're a great dude.
Facts.
People will love you for who you are. That's why you take the step, because you're confident in you. You got to be more confident in you.
Facts.
I should have been more confident in myself even in that moment, because I went up there not feeling great about it. And then later I took another miniature step. I saw her at the, did I tell you about this? I saw her at the department days. So she was in, do you know what those are?
Yeah.
Where we had to go.
To the
like
apartment?
if you were a marketing major, you had to go to the marketing day.
Oh, no.
To attend that, whatever. It was an assignment for a class. You have to go. They tell you about the major that you're in. So I went to the economics department day, and she was there.
Oh.
And I just recognized her. I went up there and sat next to her, and then we talked for a little bit, and then we ended up walking back from the department days back to Hess. That was a real step, because that's where I actually got to talk to her about, like, I don't know, we started talking about Taylor Swift at some point, but like
hey,
just a light conversation.
That will always win.
You know,
bro.
it's true. But
wait, are you an economics major?
Yeah, I am.
Really?
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah, it's kind of a more niche one, but I love marketing too.
Yeah.
And no, it's great, bro. I want to hear about your schedule as well. I'm taking an advertising class though.
Really?
An advertising class connects exactly to what we're talking about. Like,
really?
Oh my God. Like, I know you don't take the class, but maybe one day you could come in and you could talk to my teacher about it, because if you're talking about advertising a clothing brand potentially, and she knows how she could help with that. Like, she could help guide you in the right direction. I want to ask her about how I could be better about advertising this. But this semester, I feel like my classes connect to what I want to do in life. It feels like I'm finally getting past the I have to take math. Math doesn't apply to what I want to do necessarily, but advertising does.
That's so sick.
Is that how yours is?
It's finally all starting to make sense to you, is what I'm hearing.
A little bit.
But for my schedule, what it looks like is I'm actually taking a digital content creating class.
No way.
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
No way.
So you should pull up to that too.
I would.
Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5:40
totally
to 6:55. So that's my only class on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Uh-huh.
But marketing major, I do have an economics class, Economics 201.
Yep.
And since you're an economics major, I might,
hit me up, bro, if you need help.
Because, oh my goodness, I have no earthly idea what she's talking about.
Bro, 201's not,
no,
not easy.
Like, and it's like 100 people plus in that room, and I'm in the very back, because first day I got lost. I had no idea where this class was. But, yeah, it's just like I got economics, and then I have a philosophy class, and then I have a history online class, and digital content creating. I think that's all.
Okay, well, at least you have a couple. And more digital content is like the main one for you.
Yeah,
I feel connected to.
Yeah, I feel like that's very interesting, and it's the longest class I have.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives us a little aspect of what the content creation world is really like.
Mm-hmm.
What people look at. First day of class for me, because I was a week late, of course. We talked about the Super Bowl, Paris Fashion Week, and a lot of things going on. Selena Gomez crying on on Instagram or something. I had no idea that was happening. But she was talking about, like, as someone that creates content, there's so many aspects into these big headlines. Like for the Super Bowl, there are the celebrities that go. There are the commercials.
Yep.
There are the fashion.
Yep.
There's so many aspects into that. Paris Fashion Week, celebrities, fashion, just a lot of stuff that goes into that. And being able to speak on these topics, especially if you're going into that sort of content creating where you're like talking about topics in the world and what's going on. And I mean, I don't see myself there as much as heavy. Obviously, I would like to know what's going on, but I just thought it was so cool to be able to dissect things like that, and just seeing how media has grown since the first telephone, the first stamp and print, all that. It's like
definitely
it's cool to see that. But we made Instagram, or not Instagram bios, but bios for like our introduction. So I told her what I wanted to do and things of that nature. So there was a couple people in there that wanted to go into fashion, that wanted to, I'm sure social media and things of that nature. So it's a beautiful class, and I'm glad I'm taking it.
That's fire. Yeah. I love that you have a class that you're really interested in, because it helps. It helps,
exactly.
It just helps you go to class. Helps you have some fire and passion behind it.
I've been fighting to go to class recently, like for real.
I feel you.
I don't know what's going around campus. I know I don't think I have it, but
the norovirus?
Is that what it is?
That too. There were like first week of school, there were 3 or 4 guys that got it, and they were throwing up all night.
Really? Some of my friends were sick, but for me, I think it's just a sinus infection, because ever since India, the change in climates and all that, I've been pretty I wouldn't even say sick, but under the weather with allergies
like a
and
cold
stuff.
Or something.
Yeah. And I feel like, I just looked up sinus infection symptoms, and I basically have a lot of that.
Yeah.
So, trying to, obviously I don't think it's, I'll get Grant sick or anything like that.
Nah, don't worry about it.
I'm just trying to, people to stay safe on campus for sure.
Sure.
And like my TA said, wash your hands. And yeah, I think after that you should be straight.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but just praying for a quick recovery. I just want to feel good again.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you don't want people are getting sick in the first week. That just kind of sucks. Bro.
Yeah, and it's everybody coming back together.
Yeah.
From wherever they were.
Right.
So you never know what's going on. So it's like just navigating through that.
Yeah. Hey, on the last note though, I think it'd be pretty fire.
Yeah.
If we did start a TikTok for sure.
Yeah.
And got involved with that, because that's something that I want to do. One of the goals that I have is to become a Prime ambassador.
Oh, okay.
That would be sweet, right?
That would be sick.
And I have everything.
Like the drink?
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I have everything I need minus the TikTok. I don't have a TikTok presence, right? So
I could help you with that because, like back where I'm from in Clarksville, when Prime first came out, I was the Prime guy.
Bro, I was the Prime guy. We were the Prime guys, bro.
Know what I'm saying? So it's like I would bring Prime to school and they're like, "No way, you got the new Prime." I was like, "Bro, take a sip." You know what I'm saying? But Prime, because like we bonded on KSI and all that just the first day.
Yep.
So like, I know he's got a lot of hate recently, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? It's just like, just growing up with YouTube and content creators, seeing them grow in the business scheme of things, not just with their overall brand, but in the business scheme of things. And that would be super sick to see you do that. And I could definitely help in any way.
Yes, sir.
But I think for the growth of this podcast, the best thing you can do is start a Clips TikTok or a Clips Instagram.
Clips Instagram's
already started.
Yeah,
so
but the TikTok's big too.
Yeah, and if you while CapCut and stuff is still here, if you utilize that to edit your clips, and CapCut makes it so easy that in 30 minutes you could get a clip done, I'm sure. So if you take time to upgrade the production in that way, boy,
that's really what rockets the podcast, anyways. The clips.
And I feel like this genuinely, we didn't even need no script. This has genuinely been one of our greatest conversations.
Definitely, we don't. I mean. And it flows.
I really, really hope people see this because that was a very, very powerful conversation we've had.
Yes, sir.
But yeah.
Bro.
Growing your, promotion, growing your brand, and the sky's the limit for you, bro.
Yes, sir. Same goes to you.
Yep.
But yeah, much love as always.
Yep.
For coming back. You didn't have to come back, but you did.
Yeah.
So. One of my closest friends here on campus, so I appreciate you. 100%. I love you, bro.
Locked in. Love you too, bro.
But that said, do you have anything else?
Nah, just chase your dreams.
Yes, sir.
Don't
take
be here.
Take the step, bro.
Take the step, man.
Take the step, man.
Yeah, I know I yapped a little bit. I'm known as the yap master.
Yap patron.
But I guess it's good to yap for a podcast.
It is. So. It is. That's what it's about.
I know this was a powerful conversation, and I hope you follow your dreams and you chase your goals and you watch this podcast.
Yes, sir.
Subscribe.
Yes, sir.
Follow. Listen. Do it all. It's right here. Granted.
I love that.
Yes, sir.
Granted. We at 5,000. Peace out. Yes, sir, boy.